Good morning, it's Gordon here from Surf Cafe, and I've got another great video for you today. Well, I hope it's going to be great anyway. You tell me in the comments. I'm going to show you today how to make a coffee at home. Which I know it's simple, I know lots of people do it, it's not rocket science. Fact is, when I'm doing festivals and shows, that sort of thing, in the coffee van, so for those that don't know, Surf Cafe, surfcafe.co.uk, have a mobile coffee van. It's a 1959 Volkswagen split screen, available for weddings and bar mitzvahs. Anyway, people ask me at the shows how I make coffee at home, because obviously I don't have the machine parked outside. I don't have an espresso machine in the kitchen. So how do I do it? Well, actually, the truth is I have a few different methods. One is, I don't know if you can see it in the corner, I've got a built-in coffee machine. I actually don't use that at all at the minute because it's broken. The part is about £350 for a small part that big. And I just can't bring myself to pay that much money, not in the short term. So I use my tried and trusted methods of using things like a mocha, which is not. I'm going to show you how to make a mocha coffee today. Not a mocha, but a mocha coffee made with a mocha, not chocolatey. Avoid the confusion. There's other methods I'll show you in different videos. Things like a hand presser you can use, as cowboy coffee. You can do multiple methods of doing it. Talk you through this today. So what we're going to use is this thing here is a mocha. You may have seen these in different formats. They can have look sometimes like this. This is an aluminium one. This is a stainless steel one. The reason I've got different ones is, this was one of my original ones. I use this for camping because it's tiny, big as your hand. It's much less than your hand. So it's really good for camping with. This one I typically use at home because it's bigger and I can get more coffee in it. This one is, they're all the same sort of design, different makes. I'll just open them up, show you what we've got in them. There's kind of three components to them. We've got the base unit. This is where your water goes. Excuse me, beg your pardon. This is where the water goes. This is the container at the bottom. You'll see it's got a valve, pressure relief valve on the side. Very important, I'll come on to that. This is the bit where your coffee goes. This is the basket. And this is the top bit where the coffee rises up through and out. And this is where the coffee's stored, ready to be poured. So those are the three bits. Exactly the same on this, slightly different design, but principle exactly the same. Before we go into making this, just very quickly, why have I got an aluminium and a stainless steel? Well, this is not my expert area, but there are suggestions, I suppose, research along the lines that aluminium can cause things like Alzheimer's, things like that. I can't remember what it was now, Alzheimer's. So if you're going to have a lot of coffees and making them quite regularly, I'd probably go with something maybe safer, who knows, but maybe safer with the stainless steel option. I'm not saying these are dangerous in any way with aluminium, it's just that for my personal choice I prefer to go with something stainless steel. I use these for camping, occasional use, absolutely fine. I'm going to pop this to one side just for a second, and I'm going to focus on the stainless steel model. This incidentally, I think is probably better build quality, these styles. This is more kind of pressed bits of, it just doesn't look as good, but anyway, it doesn't look as good quality, but actually it's all right. It's all right. Kind of what you got then, you've got this base unit, which is where your water goes. As I say, when you're filling it with water, just make sure that the water goes below this valve, this pressure relief valve, just because obviously this is meant to relieve steam pressure, not water, so you need to make sure that steam can get out, i.e. put the water below that line. That's really important. How it works in, obviously the water's in the bottom, that gets heated. In fact, in this one you can see there's a max fill line in it actually, so yeah. But anyway, water gets heated in here, your coffee goes in there, ground coffee goes in there, and yeah, that sits in there like that. And obviously as the water boils, the steam rises through the coffee. It's got no choice but to come through the coffee basically. And this part here that screws onto the top, it's got it's like a silicone seal around there. And if you look in there, there's a screen with lots of little holes in it. So basically, the steam has to come under pressure, of course, as well. And the steam comes through the coffee, through the filter at the bottom of this part, and it rises up through the stem in the middle there. And obviously, as it comes through, it condenses into liquid form again, and with the coffee extraction as well. So that's the principle of it. So the equipment that we need to do this coffee, very straightforward. We've got your coffee itself. In this case, I'm using, this is the Sir Cafe California Dreaming coffee that we do. It's actually ground, so yeah, we do two types actually. We do the ground coffee and the beans. These should be available shortly on the website. If you wanted to help the channel out, buy some coffee, that'd be appreciated. These are 250 grams Arabica coffee. Really good for espresso, really good for espresso, because it's quite a dark, rich coffee that kind of pulls, really cuts through the milk. So really good coffee to use. I guess a point on coffee, you may or may not know this, but coffee is, when you get coffee from a supermarket, it'll have a sell-by date or use-by date in the supermarket. Premium coffee, the best coffee, i.e. the coffee you get from your local roasters, has a roasting date on it. So the optimum time to brew coffee is about between anything after 7 days after it's roasted and up to 21 days. So it's not to say you can't use it after 21 days, clearly you can. But the point is it's kind of at its best really around about after 7 days and up to 21 days. So if you're buying little bags and you're going through it quite a lot, probably better to buy it from a coffee roaster, local batch roaster, small batch roaster for example, than from the supermarket, but it's your choice. I'm just telling you how to do it the best, because obviously when you're making a coffee, it's not rocket science. Good coffee in, good coffee out, right? So use the cheap stuff and cheap stuff, and it's probably or lower quality, shall I say, stuff. It's not going to be as good, but anyway. So that's the coffee. If you can, this is already ground coffee, but if you wanted to buy the beans and have an even fresher coffee, you could buy a grinder like this. This is a Lido E grinder. It's got ceramic bearings in it. It's a really good piece of equipment. I've done other videos on this, but basically your beans go in the top hopper there, a little rubber bung on the top, and it's got a little catchy thing at the bottom, jar to catch the coffee in the bottom. The way this works, obviously, is you just you have to have a funny sort of stance. You have to stand like this, sort of thing, and then you just grind away. Do it right-handed or left leg or right leg, whichever way you want. But basically, yeah, sometimes if you're struggling with this, just so much easier just to make yourself look slightly silly. Pop your leg. And there we go. Very easy. But like I say, yeah, that's an option. Right, enough waffling now. We'll talk you through how we make a coffee. Right, so the other things we need then, are, the other things I use, I should say, not that you need, but I always have a saucer, an egg cup, a springy egg cup, a teaspoon and a knife, and a tea towel and a cup. Right. I'll explain why I need these things in a second because it's probably not obvious. But anyway, let's get cracking. So we'll split it all apart. Then what we're going to do, first thing is I'm going to use hot water. You can put cold water in. I think the best method, and other people say the same thing, is to start off with hot water. The downside and the risk is that it gets very hot. As soon as you put boiling water in here, this is instantly hot, pretty much instantly hot. There's a higher risk of burning yourself with this method, so you do it at your own caution. So I hence use a tea towel just to hold on to that Wilson screen, the top part on. So without further ado, we'll just get the kettle on. It's already got quite a lot of water in already. So we'll get the kettle boiling, and then whilst that's boiling, with the associated noise of boiling, we're going to get some of this coffee. Move things around, and you can kind of see what this is for now, hopefully. This is the basket for the coffee. It's kind of hard with 2 hands and not 3 hands to do all this together, so my little helper really is I pop that in there, and that holds it nice and steady. In this size basket, uses about, I think about 4 teaspoons full, something like that. So we're just going to pop that in there. And the reason for the saucer is obvious. It goes everywhere. When we're in the coffee van and it's windy outside, it really does blow everywhere. It's not so bad in the kitchen environment. So what we're going to do with the knife, the flat part of the knife, is we're going to scrape this coffee flat. If you're really stingy, you can scrape the excess back into your bag. But basically, yeah, you want to make it nice and sort of flat on the top. Now, importantly, it's not like with an espresso machine. You're not tamping this down. You're not trying to squash the coffee down. You're leaving it loose, effectively, but level with the top. So we're going to pop that back in there for a moment. Now the water's boiled, we're going to pop the water in, and remember there's a fill line in there, but if there isn't a fill line, it doesn't matter, you're just going to remember to put it below this this steam release valve thingy. Let's have a look inside. Difficult to see because the steam's in your way. Water in, pop that in. This is now already very, very hot. This will burn if you touch this, so this is where the tea towel comes in, just to kind of hold the bottom of this, somewhat like that. And then we're just going to get this top part and screw that on. Just so it snugs up, and then we just want to give it about a quarter of a turn. You're not trying to get this too tight, but equally it does need to create a pressure, steam pressure, so you can't have it too loose either. So do that maybe a quarter of a turn, something like that. And we're just going to go pop this on the hob, hob. Now with the what? You don't want this too high. You want it kind of low to medium. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Put the lid up. And because it's already hot, it's going to be quite quick. I'm just going to move the camera around so you can actually see this in action in real time. Because it won't take very long at all, actually. Like I say, I've just turned this gas down. You can see that. You should really keep this away from this pressure relief valve, because if that does go off for whatever reason, you don't want it blasting steam at you. So anyway, right. In a minute now, this should start pouring through. There we go. Right, as it starts to pour, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Theory being that the slower it goes through, the more extraction you're going to get. Whether that's true or not, but anyway, that's how I do it. And plus, if it's too hot, there's a risk of burning the coffee and get some more bitterish taste, so you don't want to burn the coffee if it's too hot. So as it's pouring through like that, pretty much that's as much as you're going to get out. Just switch the heat off, put the lid on there, and they're trying to avoid the clutter in the kitchen. We'll pop that down and just pop the stand, the camera back on the kitchen top. That's pretty much it done, really. The only thing I normally do is my cup, which is my favourite cup, my Land Rover cup, Q166, the first Land Rover. All I'm really going to do now is just pour this in. I'm not trying to teach you how to pour coffee, by the way. I'm just saying how I do it, because I normally, once that's all gone in there, I normally just add a dash of hot water, because I don't like coffee too strong, probably. A bit of water in there, and in my case, I always add a splash of milk, and that's it really. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hope it's been somewhat useful. I'm going to use a Moka coffee pot, and if you like the video, please like and subscribe. There might be some outtakes at the end, have to watch and see. If you do want to support the channel even more, you can pop onto www.surfcafe.co.uk, and if you'd like to buy any bags of coffee, they're available for sale there. Really appreciate your custom if you did that, and like I say, hopefully this video has been ever so helpful, and stay tuned. I'll do some other videos on other ways of making coffee. Cowboy coffee one, making it with the hand presso is another one. So yeah, I'll show you those. Probably do some camping videos as well about how to make a coffee on the campsite. So thank you for watching, and catch you in the next one. Bye.